Hello, everyone. My name is Joanne Abdo, and I am the CroatiaFest coordinator. On behalf of CroatiaFest, I would like to warmly welcome you to our webinar regarding Croatian citizenship with our guest speaker, Renee Pea, Consul General of the Republic of Croatia in Los Angeles. Your audio will be muted, and this session will be recorded for future publication. If you do not want your image to appear, I will give you a moment now to block your screen. Because of the high volume of participants today, we will address questions at the end of Renee's presentation. However, questions regarding your unique situation should be addressed to the consulate via email or telephone. Thank you, Renee, for joining us today. I will turn the session over to you.
Hello everyone. Dobar dan. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you so much for doing this. This is, I think, a wonderful opportunity to inform everyone about Croatian citizenship. We're getting a lot of questions regarding that, and I'm sure you are as well. So thank you for this. Thank you for organizing it and putting it together. I know it's a lot of work. So congratulations, and I hope that at some other point we'll be able to do it in person. But up until then, this is a great opportunity. So my name is Renee Pea. I'm the Consul General of Croatia in Los Angeles. I arrived about a year and a half ago. However, because of the pandemic, I wasn't really able to travel or see anyone in person. And that's why we were not able to participate at CroatiaFest live. And also we were not able to do any consular days. So I wanted to introduce myself very shortly. I've been a professional diplomat for the last 20 years. I've been stationed in Chicago previously as the acting consul general as well for almost 5 years. I was in Brussels for 4 years. I was working for the Croatian president as the foreign policy advisor in the office of the president. And after that, I came here. So it's really a pleasure to be here. And now if we can please start with the presentation. John, if you could please share the screen. So what I first wanted to talk to you about is what is the consulate and what does it do? So we represent Croatia here in the US in a territory that has been given to us. So that's our jurisdiction. As you can see, there's a red arrow in the middle of this map of the United States. So everything to the left side, so everything to the west, is actually jurisdiction of this consulate, which means that we take care of all the Croatian citizens and everybody else who is interested in Croatian citizenship or need anything else like visas, otherwise help with travel, anything else, we will be the ones to, take care of you. What we do also is not just consular affairs. So we do political, economic, cultural affairs. We take care of the Croatian diaspora. So we do a lot more than just consular affairs. And consular affairs are the ones that we'll be discussing today, which is actually the citizenship, as well as issuing passports, as well as issuing other documents, Croatian documents, reporting children being born, reporting the deaths, helping people who might end up in prison, and things like that. So we do all of that. And why I'm saying this is because we're only 4 at the consulate. And as you can see, we cover 19 states of the US. And that means that basically our phones are, off the hook. We're always on the phone. We have 3 people answering phones. One person is outside with whoever is our client there and who's there for citizenship or passports. So basically, if you can't reach us, that's the reason. So please be patient and just keep trying. If you can't reach us by phone, just email us. Regarding citizenship, I wanted to tell you what is dual citizenship. So Croatia allows people to have dual citizenship or even more citizenship than that. So does the US, which means that you can all have dual citizenship. The thing is, every country deems their citizens to be their only citizens, meaning that if you have American citizenship, the US will consider you an American citizen. They will not ask you if you have any other citizenships. And that also goes for Croatia. That's the same thing. When we're talking about the benefits of Croatian citizenship, I'm sure that you know by now Croatia is the member of the EU. So it would be easier for you with Croatian citizenship to go to Europe, spend more time there, even work there. And it's the same for Croatia. So once you become a citizen, you can live in Croatia indefinitely. You can work there, you can get health insurance and social benefits. You can travel without a visa to certain countries that, you know, sometimes you can't with an American passport, and so on. However, also another benefit is that you can buy property easier. You can do that as well as an American citizen. However, it's a little bit more complicated. You would need some more permits and such. So it's easier with, you know, you being Croatian citizen. And what I also wanted to make sure you understand, we get calls, people asking us about Croatian passports, and they actually mean citizenship. So you first need to get Croatian citizenship in order to be able to get a passport. So once you get Croatian citizenship, you get your domovnica, which is a proof of citizenship. And after that, you can get a passport. So just so you know, if you're calling us, you need to know what you're asking about. And now we'll go on to how do you actually become a Croatian citizen, or who is actually eligible. So next slide, please. So who can obtain Croatian citizenship? This is the simplest way, and I suggest everybody to do that. If you are a Croatian citizen and you have a child who was born to Croatian parents, at least one person has to be a Croatian citizen. You just need to register the birth of that child until they're 18. So parents who are, you know, Croatian citizens, one or the other, can just register the birth of a child and they automatically become Croatian citizen. What you need is a copy of your own Croatian passport or ID or domovnica, so parents, a copy of US passports, marriage certificate, because the marriage has to be registered in Croatia, and a certified copy of the child's birth certificate with all the parental information. Why is this important? Because some states have only short birth certificates. That also goes for marriage certificate. That's not enough if there's a marriage certificate that you have where it states only your name, your spouse's name, and when you were married, for instance. That's not enough. You need the long version. So when we're discussing about documents here, it all only goes to the longer version of the documents. So with all the information there about, you know, parents, when it comes to birth certificates, about all, you know, other information that's relevant when it comes to marriage certificates. So I really, you know, wish that more people knew about this, because this is the simplest way of becoming a Croatian citizen. So if you are a child under 18 years of age, please ask your parents to just register you and you become a citizen. It's a very simple, short procedure. It takes about 3 months and that's it. And you're done, basically. So next slide, please. This next case is a bit similar. It's actually a version of the first one. So what Croatia did is we realized we have a lot of cases of people after they reach the age of 18, they want to become citizens, but then they have to go through this lengthy procedure. So we have allowed them to apply themselves after they reach the age of 18. until they're 21, and they can apply basically to the same in the same way as you would if you were under 18. So you just do it yourself, and the documents are the same as I just mentioned previously. So you need a valid passport, your authenticated and translated birth certificate with this parental information, and proof that one of your parents is a Croatian citizen at the moment of your birth. And basically, that's it. And now on the next slide, so next slide, please. We will talk about the cases that are most common and that most of the people are asking us about. So this is about immigrants from Croatia and their descendants. So basically, people who have emigrated from the territory of present-day Croatia. So Croatia, who in its borders as of today, and they should have emigrated before October 8th, 1991. So they can become citizens as well as their spouses and descendants. And also underage children can be included in the parents' application. So what you need to have is you need to complete the application form to be signed in front of the consular officer. So don't sign it, you sign it in front of us at the consulate. You need a valid passport and any other proof of other citizenships if you have any. You need to write a resume, it's a biography, a CV, and also a personal statement of motivation, either in Croatian or in English. And in that document, you need to explain why are you applying for Croatian citizenship. You need your birth certificate, like I said, with this parental information. You need a copy of a marriage certificate. You need a U.S. criminal record check, which should not be older than 6 months. And you need the proof of emigration from Croatia. So, the way your parents, grandparents emigrated, or you have emigrated from Croatia to the U.S. We will be going through all these documents later on, so I won't spend too much time on them now. I'm just listing the reasons why you can become a Croatian citizen, but later I will explain the documents in more details. So next slide, please. So another category of people who can obtain Croatian citizenship are Croats, meaning the members of the Croatian people. So people who are ethnically Croatian, but do not have Croatian citizenship yet. Also, underage children can be included in the parents' application. So the list of documents are basically the same as I just mentioned. So you need to complete the application form. You need to submit your valid passport or copy thereof, but we need to see the original. You need to write a resume and a personal statement of motivation, explaining the reasons for applying, and also all the details about why you consider yourself to be a member of Croatian people. You need your birth certificate, also a copy of the marriage certificate, U.S. criminal record check, and this proof of Croatian ethnicity, which would mean let's say a letter from the organization you're a member of that's a Croatian organization. So for instance, in your case, maybe from CroatiaFest, speaking to your activities there, how you are involved in the community. You can also be a member of a folklore group or a sports club or any other organization that would have anything to do with Croatia, its ancestry, culture, language, etc. So those are basically the reasons. I just listed the basic ones. I don't want to go into too many details. We can discuss that later if you want. However, we will also be sending you a document where everything is explained in detail. So I don't want to confuse you with too much information right now. However, if you do have questions, obviously you can ask them later. But I will just continue now with the procedure. So next slide, please. So how do you apply? One thing that I need to mention here is that I'm talking only about American citizens or people who are living in the States right now, but basically American citizens. So you can apply at one of the Croatian consulates. We have consulates in Los Angeles, in Chicago, New York, and also the embassy in Washington, D.C. So depending on where you live, you will contact one of these consulates. You can find, I included the link here. You can find on this link the explanation of where you would belong to which consulate. However, I told you at the beginning, this consulate in LA, we take care of all the people who are living on the West Coast, and basically to the west, from North Dakota down to Texas, everything to the west is our area. So you can submit the application only in person. So once you have collected all the documents, you need to call us and set up an appointment. You can do it either by phone or by email. You will get all the contact information later on in this presentation. Please make sure to call us at least 2 to 3 months prior, because we are quite busy, so we get a lot of applications. So you need to do it at least a couple of months before. For instance, once you realize when all the documents will be ready, then that's probably the best time to call us. So you do it a little bit in advance, because some of those documents are time sensitive in terms of they shouldn't be older than 6 months, for example, but I'll talk about that a little later. Also very important, please bring us this whole application, all of the documents. The documents need to be in their original form, meaning your birth certificate has to be original. And then bring us also another set of documents, which are copies of those documents that are submitting. We'll keep both of those, just so you know. And so the way it works is you submit your application, and in case we need you, or the Ministry of Interior, who's actually dealing with the citizenship applications in Croatia, if they need something else from you, we will get in touch with you. So there's no reason for you to call us and ask, about the status of your relationship, application, because there's really nothing we can tell you. We're not the ones who are dealing with it, and even if we ask, the answer is usually it's in the process. So we can't give you any more information. So if we're missing something, we'll let you know. So regarding fees and the waiting period. So the fee for child registration, that is, if you remember, the first one and the simplest way of doing it is only $59. So as you can see, it's quite, it's not expensive. The fee for application for Croatian citizenship is $244. That is for most people, so who are above 18 and would apply as Croatian immigrants or members of the Croatian people. And then there's the fee for determining Croatian citizenship. That's a case that I haven't discussed because it's a little bit more complicated. However, it's all explained in the kits or in the documents that you'll be getting. So in case you find yourself in that category, then the fee is $79. That fee is also the same for those people who are between 18 and 21. So the fees are not refundable, regardless of the outcome, because what can happen is sometimes, people get declined. It happens very rarely, but it can happen. So we need to make sure you know that. You would pay the fee when you come to the consulate and submit your application. We only accept money order or a check. So no cash and no credit cards, just so you know. So please bring your checkbooks with you. And you need to check how much it is for this year. So for instance, the fees that I'm giving you now, those are valid for this year. So if you're going to apply next year, you need to check what the fee is, because it might be a little bit different. They vary depending on, you know, what the exchange rate is from kuna to dollars. And when it comes to the waiting period, that all depends on each case. So we cannot really tell you how long it'll take. However, it will for sure take at least 1 year. It can take up to 2 years. It can even take longer in some cases, depending on what the situation is. So that's for, you know, applying for Croatian citizenship normally. If you're registering a child, then it's much less time. So it's between 3 and 6 months. So when we're discussing documents, I told you for every case which documents you need. They're more or less the same. If you're above 21, you would all need the same documents. It's more or less the same for everyone. So what I need to explain is this process of authentication of documents. So the thing is, every single document that you would be getting here from the American authorities, so like your birth certificate, your marriage certificate, they need to be authenticated, which means that they have to have an apostille seal on them. An apostille seal is a piece of paper that usually has a golden seal on it. They can do it for you at the office of the Secretary of State of each state where you live. So, for instance, if you are from Seattle, then you would go to the office of the Secretary of State of Washington in Olympia. Some states have offices of the Secretary of State in their capitals, but some states have also in, you know, every large city. So you just need to go to their website to see where to apply and in what way. Usually it can be done by mail as well. So, but you have to see with them, because they switched to mail, but during this pandemic, but you can also come in person and ask for it. However, I'm not sure if everybody has gone to in-person contact. So you will need to go to their website and check. Then you need your passport. So any travel document that you have that serves as a proof of citizenship and your identity, and your name needs to match. So if your name on your birth certificate is different from the one on your passport, then you need to make sure that it matches. So you need to change it, because in Croatia we're quite strict about what it what it is that constitutes a person, and for them, if the name is different, you're a different person. So basically the names need to match. Then I have mentioned already the resume. So the resume or biography, you just need to write your CV as you would for a job application, for instance. So we need to know your information, your name, date of birth, your address and phone number, and then where you went to school, what you do, what your work is, and things like that. Then another thing is your personal statement of motivation. Some people combine the two. We usually suggest them to have two separate documents. One as just a biography. The other one is like a letter, where you would explain why you would like to become a Croatian citizen. What are your reasons behind it? You should write it in Croatian. If you don't speak Croatian, then have it translated. When we're talking about translation, So all the documents, all the official documents and all the documents that are in English, they need to be translated to Croatia. We're talking about legal documents. So your birth certificate, your marriage certificate, your criminal record check, all of that has to be translated into Croatian, and it needs to be translated by an official translator. So if you don't know anybody who's an official translator, you can always contact the consulate. We have some contacts. However, you can also go to the website. That's www.atanet.org. And there's a list of all the certified translators there. You just choose the language and it'll come up. So that's the way of doing it. And criminal record search. So that's something that you can obtain it either from the Department of Justice of the state where you live or from the FBI. If you're getting it from the Department of Justice, then it also has to have this apostille seal that I've been talking about. So if it's state issued document, then you still need this apostille seal that you would get from the Secretary of State. If it's issued by the FBI, then it's federal, and then you don't need this apostille seal on it. It still needs to be translated, either way. However, I need to warn you that the FBI check sometimes takes longer, so you need to know that, but you can also check with them how long it will take. And so regarding the application form, application form you can either get at the consulate, but we suggest that you fill it out prior to coming to the consulate. You can get it online at the Ministry of Interior website, which is mup.gov.hr. And then you go to Građani, and then obrazci. You can see it here on the screen. The reason why it's in Croatian is the application form is in Croatian, and you need to fill it out in Croatian. So that's the only remnant of that old rule that you had to speak Croatian. So you really don't need to be able to speak Croatian, but you do need to be able to fill out the form. So what we suggest to do is, if you can't fill out the form yourself, then ask somebody to help you. We can also help you. However, please don't call us and go through the whole form. We can just answer a couple of questions that you're confused about, but otherwise, you can also have somebody translate it for you and then fill it out. But like I said, it's only in Croatian, so it doesn't exist in English. When talking about help, we get a lot of questions regarding, do you need a lawyer or a consultant to help you with this? So the answer is no, you really don't. You can do it yourself, and a lot of people are doing it themselves. However, of course, it's up to you. Sometimes people don't have enough time. They're confused by the whole process. Sometimes they just need help and feel better if somebody's there to help them. So of course you can hire a lawyer or a consultant. Lawyers, I understand, are quite expensive, but like I said, it's completely up to you. We leave it to you. You can either get a lawyer or you don't, but we don't require it. And for the Croatian citizenship, you don't need to have a lawyer. Especially because most of the documents you will be needing is American documents. So your documents you need to get here anyway. So that's one consideration. Another one is how easy it is to get documents from Croatia. So for instance, if your grandfather was born in Croatia or your great-grandfather, and you need his birth certificate in order to prove the lineage, you would need to go get it there. You can get it in some cases from our consulate, but not in all cases, because the problem is that some of those archives have either been moved to the state archives or have been destroyed. Sometimes they don't even exist, so there wouldn't be a birth certificate. There would only be a certificate of baptism, for instance. So you need to go to the church where your grandfather or grandmother was baptized, for instance. So in those kind of cases, it is good to have a lawyer, perhaps, because then they can get it for you easier than you needing to try to locate the office where this birth certificate might be, and then not finding it, and then perhaps going to church or the state archives. So in those kind of cases, if you're finding it difficult to find proof or birth certificates of your grandparents, great grandparents, then sometimes it's useful to have somebody to help you in Croatia. So do you need to take a language test? No. You don't need to do that. That used to be the case. However, we don't require that anymore. So all you have to do is come in person, show up, and we usually just have a small interview with you. We just ask you, why would you like to become a Croatian citizen? And basically that's it. So you don't need to speak Croatian. You don't need to take a test, neither of the language or of the culture or any of those things that we used to have. So you don't need to worry about that. We get questions also if you can vote after becoming a Croatian citizen. Yes. So after becoming a Croatian citizen, you can do everything that any Croatian citizen can do. So you can vote. If you want to vote, you can vote here at the consulate or the embassy. So we usually organize elections, but you need to come in person. So there is no voting by post in Croatia. It doesn't exist. So you need to come in person and vote at one of the consulates where you would belong to, or the embassy. So I think I already mentioned this. When you become a Croatian citizen, can you live in Croatia indefinitely? Yes, you can. So you can move to Croatia and stay there for as long as you want. You can retire there. You can get your pension there. So everything, everything that any Croatian citizen can do, you can do as well. Would getting your citizenship allow you to purchase property in Croatia? Well, yes, I mean, it's easier to get property if you are a Croatian citizen. But you can also purchase property even without citizenship. It's just a little bit more complicated, but you can still do it. Like I said, you just need to jump through a little bit more of some hoops. And basically that's it. This concludes my presentation. So this is the contact information of the Consulate General in LA. Like I said, you can call us, you can email us with any questions, and of course you can ask me any questions right now. I hope I didn't bore you nor confuse you even more, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you.
Excellent. I think that we're at a good stopping point, Renee. I know that there are more questions, but they can be addressed to the consulate office in Los Angeles. We will provide you with their contact information. From my heart, Renee, we cannot be more appreciative for your time today. You clarified so much for us, and you made it a very doable thing for us. And with your support, I know we can all get our citizenship. I do want to remind everyone that our program today has been recorded. It will appear on the CroatiaFest website and YouTube channel in the future. Thank you again, Renee, for such a wonderful presentation. We hope that you all enjoyed it as much as I did. And fingers crossed, we'll be at CroatiaFest on October 2nd at the Seattle Center Armory. Doviđenja, hvala. Thank you.
Well, thank you. It was my pleasure, and I hope to see you all there in Seattle for CroatiaFest live this time. Thank you.
Thank you everyone for joining us today. Bye-bye.